and welcome to Board na Móna Growise Meet Me in the Garden. I'm Aoibhín Garrihy and I'm joined by Paraic Horkan, who's going to talk us through planting your own edible hanging basket.
Okay, so here's what we need to plant up an edible basket. You need obviously the container, and they come in different sizes, but I particularly like that shape. A little tip is to get another container just to support the basket. Okay, make sure you remove the chain, obviously, take it to one side. We also have some strawberries. We have a selection of herbs. You can use any herbs, and my advice really is to pick a selection that you're going to use on a regular basis. I've also brought some edible flowers. So these are viola flowers, and again, you can eat the flowers right through the summer. They're lovely in drinks, in ice cubes, to garnish maybe a salad. They're ideal. And something for the children, I brought some nasturtium seed. Both the leaves and the flowers on nasturtiums are totally edible as well. Yeah. And they give a lot of colour as well. And of course, we have the Growise Go Greener compost, which is a multi-purpose compost, so you can use it for seed sowing, but it's fantastic for using with hanging baskets. So all we need is to fill the basket up with the compost, and then it's a matter of just putting in the plants. So starting with strawberries, these strawberries are going to come into flower just after Easter, and will produce their fruit any time from the middle of summer onwards. So from about the middle of June onwards, and the strawberry fruit will hang over the edge of the basket, keeping it clean and easy to pick. I'm also going to add some popular herbs, so a little bit of rosemary.
Which is lovely and calming, isn't it?
Beautiful scent, beautiful flowers. Again, a great plant to encourage the pollinators into your garden. They absolutely love the flowers of rosemary. Here's a little tip. When you're putting the plants, or just before you put them in, give them a light trimming back. Okay. And that will encourage a bushier, fuller plant. So rather than having two stems of rosemary, we're going to have a multi-stemmed plant, and you're going to get lots of trimming from that. And remember that all herbs benefit from regular trimming back during the growing season. Even if you're not going to use the herbs, you can freeze them. You can put them into a Ziploc bag and put them into the fridge. But the practical trimming back encourages lots of new growth, a bushier plant, and on that new growth you get an intense flavour. The richness is in the young growth on herbs. This is mint, by the way, so again, lovely in drinks. It's also lovely with lamb, or you can use it in desserts. But the regular trimming encourages a bushier plant, so the plant will stay smaller but bushier. And from that, you get lots of extra trimming. So the more we trim them, the more cover they give, and the more useful they are then right through the summer. So we can continually trim about every 2 weeks during the growing season. I'm just trying to calculate how many mojitos that will equate to. Chives, another very popular herb, and again, very easy to use. Again, we can use both the flowers and the foliage are edible on chives. And again, a plant that responds really well to being trimmed back on a regular basis. So we have 5 strawberry plants, we have some rosemary, we have some mint, we have some chives, and we'll finish off with some lemon thyme. So this gives a lovely lemon scent. Again, it's evergreen, regular trimming. Again, before we pop it in, just give it a light trimming back, and that encourages a really bushy plant. All herbs, or most herbs, flower as well. Okay. So the flowers are edible, the foliage is edible, the plants are great for pollinators, for bees in particular. And don't be afraid to knock off a little bit of the compost just to make it easier to get it into the container.
Oh yeah, I noticed you did that with the strawberries as well. Yeah. You didn't take the full bulk.
No, it's not necessary. So we just pop that in. And again, the lemon thyme will cascade over the edge of the basket. The strawberries will cascade over as well. And finally, we're going to put in some of the edible nasturtiums. So remember, both the flowers and the foliage are edible. You can use the leaves in salads. You can use the flowers in salads, but also the flowers on nasturtiums are quite fleshy, and you can stuff them with various stuffings and eat the entire piece. Yeah, so it's a lovely, and even if you didn't pick the flowers, they're very decorative. They really look well.
For cakes and things like that.
For cakes, for salads, they really look well. The seed is quite large as well, so it's great for children to sow. So the seed is quite big, very visible, and all you do is simply push it in at the edge. How simple is that? Yeah. Cover it over to a little bit of the Go Greener compost, and it's good to go. Now finally, I'm going to add some extra punch of colour from edible violas. So violas are coming into flower now. They'll be beautiful right through Easter, but they're going to continue to flower right through the summer. Oh, wow. And violas can be used in drinks, You can have them frozen in ice cubes to use later on in the season. Beautiful on salads as well. A lovely decorative edible flowering plant.
And is it just the flower that's edible, not the leaves in this
Not the
particular
leaves.
one?
No, the leaves aren't edible. Now they're not going to do you any harm
No.
if you eat the leaf, but it's the flower really. It's got a lovely vanilla flavour, but it's also so decorative.
Yeah,
It looks so pretty.
looks great.
And it's going to just add that extra bit of colour into the basket, instant colour. So strawberries, some herbs, some edible violas. We've also added the nasturtiums, which you can use the leaves and the flowers. We're all looking to make greener and more sustainable choices for our gardens, and one of the simplest ways is to choose the Growise Go Greener compost. It's made from 40% green waste, which is full of nutrition and suitable for hanging baskets, window boxes, or indeed for using to grow edible crops.
Móna Growise Go Greener is available nationwide.